It's really good to be with you. I would much rather be with you at our beautiful church or chapel, but my heart and my thoughts are with you this day. This is the first of these messages that I will be recording on Sunday mornings when we're going to virtually gather together someplace else in the world. And so I just have some thoughts that I want to share. And so this is what I want you to hear today, and I hope that you will take in your heart for the rest of the time that we are doing this separation. But you know, the very first message of the angels is do not be afraid. Whether it's to those shepherds who are standing on the edge of our creche, or to Mary who stands weeping in the garden on that first Easter morning, the very first message is do not be afraid. In the deepest darkness of night, in the shadow of death, when our eyes are red and swollen with tears, in those moments when we suddenly lose our breath, the message from the angels is do not be afraid. And that's the message of God in every moment of uncertainty, of doubt, anxiety, moments like this. Every moment when life causes us to lose our breath, God breathes to us, do not be afraid, I am with you. In so many of those moments in my own life, those are the words that have sustained me. Do not be afraid, I am with you. And in the past 2 weeks, we've had a lot of those moments of anxiety, uncertainty, as churches and schools and borders began to close, as the stock market tanked, as people like the woman who cuts my hair lost jobs, and most importantly, and most alarmingly, as the number of ill and the number of dead continued to climb exponentially. I, like maybe some of you, I felt as if I almost had to learn to breathe again. And what sustained me are those words, do not be afraid, I'm with you. And so maybe not today or tomorrow, or probably even not next month, but maybe next year, when we begin to speak of this time, we'll do so as we speak of so many of those times of crisis, like after 9/11. We started to talk about where we saw God in this, and we always saw God in the helpers. And so we will speak of God and the nurses and the doctors and the health officials like Anthony Fauci, working tirelessly for us and for the entire world. We'll speak of God and the scientists and the researchers who are searching tirelessly for a vaccine, effective treatments. We'll speak of God in those workers at the big box stores like the Walmart I've got up the street, or the Target that our children from Padonia get their groceries because of the $30 gift cards that you've given. But the workers who are there wiping down shopping carts, still managing to smile and greet us, knowing that they'd probably rather be at home with their families. We'll speak of God and the parents who are trying so hard to now work at home and also care for their school-aged children, wondering why they can't see their friends and teachers and go to school. And we will speak of God in those who led songs on porches and balconies and online gatherings around the world, We'll speak of God in those who started putting hearts in windows and turned on Christmas lights in the middle of Lent to chase back the dark. We'll speak of God in those who made telephone calls, delivered groceries and medicine, and spoke through panes of glass to those who are alone and afraid. And we will speak of God and those who wrote songs and poems, those who give voice to the unspeakable and brought forth hope and beauty in this present darkness. One day in time, this moment, it's going to be a memory, and it will be a story. And it will be a story with deep moral meaning, from which I hope that we would have learned to be our better selves, to listen to our better angels, to learn more fully the lesson that there is no us and them, there is only us. Us in this together, us embraced by the love of God, who whispers to us, "Do not be afraid. I am with you." But until this is over, in those moments, and we'll have more, when the news catches our breath, and we seem that we cannot breathe, and when hope begins to fade, may we whisper to each other deeply, lovingly, "Do not be afraid. I am with you," even if we are separated by this present distance. And as we breathe, we continue to be love, to be God's love, to be Christ's love to one another. Do not be afraid. I love you.
You shall wander far and say Good morning, dear friends. I'm so happy that we can be together this morning, if not physically together, at least virtually together, so that we will have the opportunity very soon to worship virtually and know that we are spending that time in each other's company. I want to let you know that during this very challenging time, your lay leadership team, the vestry, and our executive committee, which is the officers who are Will Shaw, Tom Simpson, Robin Rouse, and then also Chris Tang, of course, are regularly meeting to discuss whatever needs to be done to keep our church functioning in as much of a business as usual process as you can at a time like this. Please know that we will also be meeting together with the vestry, again virtually, until such time as we can be together. I also want to say that while we may be physically apart, we stand strong in our faith in Jesus Christ and in our love for one another. Please know that if there is anything that any member of the vestry or the executive committee can do to help you in any way, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can find our contact information online, and it should also be in the directory, which hopefully each one of you have. Now, I look forward as we worship virtually together until that time where we are back together physically in our sacred space at Holy Comforter. May God be with you all.